So when you started this crazy journey with me, when you sort of said, yes, I'm going to hop on board, what did you think was going to happen? Where did you think
I had no idea.
Where did you think that this was going to, okay, so and at what time during the time when we were doing all this together did you think, hang on a minute?
It wasn't long into it. Right. I think when we were doing those workshops face to face, I knew then there was something in it. Mm-hmm. And it was just, I mean, to answer your first question, I had absolutely no idea where we were going with this creativity thing. It just sounded fascinating. And I knew creativity had always been somewhere in my life for various reasons, even in my corporate life. And I just thought, well, I'm just going to throw my hat in the ring and see where we go with this, because it wasn't an area that I had any formal training on. So it was exciting. And I'm a bit of a magpie, I have to say, when it comes to my profession. I do like to dip into things, and that'll take my interest, and then that'll take my interest. So I've got loads and loads of training because I just want to pull on different threads when I'm working with my clients and have a sort of very broad church approach really to my practice. But once we started doing the face-to-face workshops, I knew then there was something going on here that was really, really valuable. Yeah. And I think what was in the back of my mind all the time was there's something missing in the profession and in the way people are taught and learn about this modality, that somehow people learn it, but then they don't implement it. So, you sort of do a piece of CPD, you might learn how to work creatively. And it was all about getting people to make drawings. But they seem to stop there. And I think practitioners were not confident enough to actually do this work on a regular basis and actually get to somewhere quite deep with their clients. And once we started to work together and I began to witness how deep people really could go with this particular modality and how quickly people went so deep with it. Yeah. And what I wanted to see out of all of this was, this is such a great modality. How can we get more people, more practitioners using this modality in their practice, because it is so powerful. It takes people on such a journey. And I think that's really what I started to witness so very early on. And it was only then when we really sat down to write the book, we needed to be able to figure out, how do we help people use this so much more quickly and easily.
Yeah. And I think, I've always probably known that there's something in it, but it was certainly on those workshops where we were having people coming from all over the place and actually witnessing there in the moment, people changing and finding new routes out through something that they'd probably been working with for a long period of time. And probably because they weren't all trained practitioners, they were just people who were interested in their own personal journey. And suddenly I began to realize, gosh, this is much more powerful than I even ever thought it was, even though I'd always known creativity was very, very powerful from the days when I used to run those 2-day workshops when people would come on a residential and change sort of overnight almost in front of me. But I think it was seeing that, and it happened, we'd have a day with people and they'd go away and you could see that something had lifted, something had changed, something had shifted. And like you, I began to think about people who are working as practitioners, that this could be something that could really help them to excel the way that they brought people to closure, so that they could really say, okay, you don't have to be stuck in this place going over and over the same thing over and over again. But it's like, this is a route out. Somehow for me, it's like the creation of something that isn't stuck in time, where sometimes I think our words are stuck in time, that by shifting something that you've created, adding more to it, taking something away from it, making it bigger, making it smaller, and taking just a motif in that somehow that then goes inside the person into their unconscious and something changes. And I think that, for me, and we've talked about this a lot, that if only, we could reach not just 2,000 or 3,000 people, but a lot more people and get them to experience it for themselves.
Yeah.
So that once they've experienced it, they know what we're talking about. Because you can read about it. It's a bit like, as I often use the expression, it's like driving a car. You cannot read about how to drive a car and then go and teach somebody how to drive a car or sit beside them. You have to get in the car. You have to make mistakes. You have to, enjoy the process of driving for it to be something that you really can do well, I think. And, for people to come and practice and see it done and then say, do you know what? This makes such a difference to people. And that means my clients or me personally can really gain from engaging in this way of working.
And I think that's one of the unique things about our workshops and our training. We're really quite firm that people need to work both as practitioner and as client, because it's only when person experiences how creativity works. We don't want to be doing the kind of training where we just sit there and lecture people and tell them, well, if you do this, then you do that, and you do that, and people make loads of notes. That's not how we work, is it? We want to be able to, for people to experience this particular way of working. So you absolutely know how it lands and how powerful it is. And it's only when you've experienced it yourself that gives you so much more confidence then to go and use this particular practice with your clients, because you know it's powerful and you know what the obstacles are going to be, and it really means you can do such better and higher quality work when you actually experienced it and work through some of these issues yourself.